Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. Jack here, and we're going to be providing you guys the Twitter reacts after our narrow 1-0 victory over Manchester United. We officially own Manchester. That's three times now we've been able to beat Manchester United, and also we know that we always are able to get over the line, usually against Man City. So Manchester is truly white. It's truly lily white, and we're going to wrap up this time with Manchester with the Twitter reacts here. So everybody smash that like button for me, please, and let's get this one going. Tottenham Hotspur saying what it means, Vicario back in the net, and he had a brilliant performance. I think, it wasn't necessarily the actual sort of flying saves that he was making. I actually think a lot of the times it was really the parries that he did so brilliant with. Some of those sort of stops that he made, he did really good at sort of pushing the ball away from, any sort of dangerous area, or he kept it away really from any of the oncoming United players. There were plenty of the saves he made where if he just parried it into a bad area, could have easily been tapped home by a Man United player. And you look at Onana's, save from Bergvall that led to Maddison's tap in. There were plenty of chances where Vicario could have gotten that wrong and could have done something similar to what Onana did, but he didn't because he's a class goalkeeper and can make some top level saves. So just good to see what it means to the guy. He's getting that clean sheet as well, which he truly deserves. Lovely to see that for our man Vic. Hotspur Report Matters has just posted this on TikTok. Absolute class. Well, Maddison definitely answering the pressure calls from Roy Keane. But I think, what Roy has done is maybe Maddison a favor. I wonder if he's done Maddison a favor where he's kind of given him some fresh motivation, to, come back firing, to come back, really motivated to prove people wrong and shut people up. So maybe almost Maddison can send a little thank you note to Roy Keane in the mail because I've been definitely a big defender of Maddison this year. I think we are a better team most of the time when he's in it. I have criticized him. Don't get me wrong. Like I think he could be better in plenty of his performances, but he is, I think, one of our more creative, more consistently creative players in this team, and I think that's ultimately what the system needs is to have multiple creative like minds in the side. And Maddison is by far one of our best ones. And even if he's having an off day or even if he's having an off game, I think Spurs are usually better off with him starting in the team and then maybe taking him off later in the game than they are to have him, on the bench to begin with. I think he is a guy that we play a lot better when we start games with. And I don't know, maybe the call out by Roy Keane is going to get an even better version of James Maddison this season. And I think he's actually had an all right season so far. All things Tottenham, Wilson Odobert in 6 minutes completed as many dribbles as Son and two more dribbles and more dribbles than Kulusevski. Game changer. I thought Wilson looked really bright when he came on and was kind of showing us what maybe Dave and I have been asking, plenty of people have been asking for, which is a winger that really knows how to run at his fullback, run at his defenders, cause problems that way, cause chaos, just sort of be a dynamic, positive type player in running at his defender. And he was just doing that within 6 minutes, like you say, of his time off the bench, which was lovely to see. And I think he'll be a really big addition to this team because we've been crying out for a guy like Odobert all season. It's just he's been injured all season. Tottenham Hotspur showing that matters. Maybe again, take a little pop at Roy Keane with the eyes there. Lovely to see. Fabrizio Romano, I thought I'd bookmark this one for you guys. Djed Spence, I don't think Spurs fans know me as a player. They've probably seen me from the Forest days, but I haven't played, so they don't know what I'm capable of. The best is yet to come, he told The Athletic in 2024 on March 9th. And we're definitely getting the best version of a Djed Spence nearly a year later as well. So fair play to the guy. He's been very, very patient. And I think he's also taken the high road where Daniel Levy, Antonio Conte, even Ange at one point, were probably pretty harsh on him, unfair to him, not giving him his chance. And I think he's, just dug deep, made himself an even better player, made himself an even more mature player as well. And, it's just made it so that it's, a complete mistake to not have him in the team at this point. And it's made it so that he's undroppable. He's answered the pressure, but he's also just basically made himself, undroppable really, which is just fair play to the guy's mentality and fair play to the talent that he has. Carly saying this diva with Bentancur. I mean, it's just the class that he uses, right? The knee, the knee, the ice on the knee, and then just examining the fingernails. I think at one point too, Pop Matsar had something similar where Pop Matsar had like some sort of like ice over his knee, but then was kind of standing in a very or sitting in a very philosophical or almost a stoic kind of a stance where he had his legs crossed, sort of gazing off into the distance in a type of manner that just sort of ooze class. And Bentancur doing something similar here. Football Joe, Ruben Amorim since joining Man United. The bus just keeps turning around and keeps going around and around and around, and they can't seem to find the direction. What is funny though is that plenty of Man United fans and even the media itself, seem to think that Ruben Amorim, right? They're accusing him of not making the best of maybe a bad situation, not adapting to the circumstances that are in front of him, not playing the players in their best position, regardless of the system he wants to play. And we've heard this a million times with Ange Postecoglou, haven't we? So it's funny to now see that all of a sudden laid on a different manager's doorstep, and we'll see how he handles the pressure now. Ruben Amorim, Angira, Ruben Amorim, welcome back to the Big Ange Penitentiary, mate. Always love these CGI or AI reels of Big Ange skilling people up. StatMuse FC, fun fact: Tottenham have played 5 games versus Manchester United this season. 3 versus Man United, 2 versus Man City. They have won all 5 versus Manchester teams. Sorry, they have won all 5. We are undefeated against Manchester. It's our city. It's our town. Gus Yito saying Bentancur's head is a contact magnet. That's all I wonder with Bentancur is. Is he just prone to getting in the mix of some ugly type of battles and some ugly duels, or is he a guy that perhaps needs to try to avoid sometimes these head clashes and these big clashes, because he's always in the mix of these scruffs and things like that, and ends up being a very tough player, but always comes out of it looking like he's about to have another injury. So Bentancur, no need to go into every challenge as hard as you can, I'd say. Gareth Mack, cheeky post game pick with Timo Weenie. Very, very nice. Nice to see that from Gareth. Lee Gunner, I thought this was strange. I'm not sure what the point was, but in case you saw this on Twitter yesterday, he was showing so much praise for every single Spurs player that came off the pitch for some reason. I'm not too sure what the joke is. Maybe he's ahead of me on this one. Steven saying on our way home on our way from South Wales, up the Spurs, Levy out, Enoch out, get the badge in. Steven, get the badge in. But it's a great banner, and hopefully they had a great time on their way and also on their way back. And fair play to them for taking a long trip out to the stadium in order to show their solidarity with the protest and the movement. Maddie, Vicario, Ben Davis, and Djed Spence, absolute dogs of that back line. Dan THFC, Maddison goal, Bergvall assist. Brennan Johnson, Odobert, Vicario return, clean sheet, 3 points. It's Conceição cigar time, everybody. If only we had Davo to do that with us. Ramon Vega saying on Sky, saying that Man United talking about teenagers. What about Spurs? We have been playing for months with teenagers. I remember Drew Zilla mentioned this in the watch along because he had the Sky Sports coverage, I think, along the same time as the American coverage. And he pointed out that the fact that the Sky, had so much sympathy for Man United's situation with the teenagers, and we're bringing it up a bunch. Whereas anytime that's been the case with us, it seems to fail to get mentioned. So maybe a key insight into sometimes the agendas that may be at play here around Tottenham Hotspur. No context, Tottenham, man of the match, man of the match, man of the match. The cycle continues for Djed Spence. He's just been it's like a new signing practically to the team. He's been the best defender in our side for months, and has also just been a guy that has been carrying this team really, and even some of our poorer displays, he's still shown to be one of the better players. Gus, Guglielmo Vicario, the beautiful man you are, welcome back, son. Great to have our man Vic, and just pulling off great saves to keep us in it, kept us in it, absolutely did. Carly saying Djed Spence playing a tiny violin in the background. Oh, absolutely great. And someone even said as well, this is the most AI generated non-AI image, with the Maddison shush, the Matisse Tell scream, and the Djed Spence violin in the background. Spurs pictures that go hard. You love to see that. Maddison giving the big shush. And then the Spurs Express. Hopefully you've been paying attention at Thomas Tuchel. Dave mentioned this. Few people mentioned this, that with the way Jedi's been playing, he's definitely, a shoe in into that England team, and potentially even the starting 11, because the way he's been playing, you could play him at left back, you could play him at right back. I know with England, you guys usually have plenty of right backs to choose from, but not always the case. You guys had a ton of left backs maybe to choose from, and now someone like Djed Spence could do a job for you, and we also know he could do a job for you on the right. Has that recovery pace that is similar to that of a Kyle Walker, who I think is probably getting on in age for you guys. So definitely someone that Thomas Tuchel should be paying attention to. And we've seen him at a lot of the Spurs games. So you wonder if he is already well ahead of us on that regard. Goals and assists versus the Premier League Big Six. James Maddison has surpassed Eden Hazard. Definitely something to think about. Definitely a very, very cool stat to use in case you are a James Maddison fan. football tweets Roy Keane on James Maddison this week. If you're a player in the Spurs dressing room, you wouldn't be looking and going, "Oh, he's back today. We're going to be fine." James Maddison celebration telling Roy Keane to shut up. Poseidon saying Tell wanted his goal too badly, still raw, but you can see the talent. My thing is with Tell is I actually thought his hold up play for the most part was quite good. I thought he was quite tidy. I thought he did well in dropping deep, picking up the ball, playing others, and just not really giving it away too much. I don't remember too many bad giveaways or anything like that from Tell. I think he was pretty tidy. It was just that when he did get his shooting opportunities, felt like he snatched at them, and then in a couple of moments, he just didn't really strike it cleanly enough to really challenge the keeper, really make the keeper work. So if that would be the real criticism that I would have from his performance. But I actually thought he was quite positive, and I actually thought he contributed to that win in more ways than negatives really. So Tell I thought was fine. It's just that when he did get some of those shooting opportunities, maybe he could have done a little bit better with them. Could have just made cleaner contact. If you ask me, a few of those efforts were a little bit tame. Cy Comps, our best player by a country mile. He had first in duels won, first in final third entries, first in sprints, and then first in successful dribbles. What a performance from our man Djedi. And Shostakoglu. What'd you say, Ruben? I'm a huge fan of his work. I understand his connection. We're not winning games. But with all respect, I'm at a bigger club with bigger pressure. Say what now, Ruben? Says Carly. Great work there. Gus Wilson Odobert survived 7 minutes of real football. And if he stays healthy for the rest of the season, I think he'll be a huge, huge boost to this team. He's a guy that, we've been crying out for, like I brought up earlier, someone who runs at his defender, creates chaos, always being super positive, never looking really to play sideways or anything like that. Some of the 1-2s he was playing, just a really dynamic, fun player. And I think he'll be a huge, huge boost to this team if he can stay healthy for the rest of the season. Ali Gold pointing out the big turnout of the Spurs protest. It definitely was. I mean, it's a sizable, sizable crowd from a distance as well. So fair play to Ali Gold. And yeah, if you guys can zoom in there, you can really see huge, huge crowds. And it garnered a lot of media attention, which is all that you can want. And whether you were there or not, all I can say is, fair play to these people for putting in the support, being there, expressing their voice, and just showing to the media as well as the rest of the Premier League, that we have things, that we're definitely not content with around Daniel Levy and this club. And for me, I think we're a good sign is that it just seems like a lot more people are kind of in common agreement over at least some things around Daniel Levy and the board. Whether you feel more strongly than others about it, I think is not really the real problem or the real issue. It's just it seems like now, people are kind of coming together and kind of finding common agreement over similar frustrations and are sharing those similar frustrations. And now people can, in a way, put aside their differences and come together in kind of a similar voice, and trying to change Spurs for the better. So hopefully I put that in the best ways I can. A little bit tired this weekend. So do bear with me and do cut me some slack. Change for Tottenham saying thank you to everyone. Thank you to every single one of you who marched with us today. What a turnout. Hey, it was looked massive, looked great. Fair play to them. And there you are, everybody. I believe that is our our Twitter reacts. I thought I actually had a little bit more, from the protest pictures. Maybe I just retweeted a bunch of really cool stuff. So actually check out my Twitter, by the way, everybody, Jack_Kanicki. Now you should see a lot of the cool protest coverage that I retweeted, but you'll also be able to find it online yourself. But there you are, everybody. Hopefully you did enjoy this Twitter reacts. I'm not sure when Dave is coming back, but hopefully you guys can still tolerate me until he is back with us. And smash the like button on your way out. A big, big win for Spurs. One that was desperately needed and one that we really needed as a fan base, but also I think for this squad and this manager and this team in general. Right? They've been in poor form. Getting knocked out of the cups as well. We needed a bounce back and wasn't, I think, the prettiest of wins, but also I think we deserve something from it, at least a point. So it's not like we played that poorly, as some people have made it out to be. So I think definitely a good place to get kicked off from, and we'll see how the rest of the season, unfolds from here. Maybe it could be a big turning point. You never know. But come on, you Spurs! Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Smash the like button, please, on the way out. Do check out as well over on Big Up tomorrow. In fact, if you're watching this tomorrow on Monday, join us for the big upstream because we will be doing some live highlight reaction type coverage where over on that platform you can actually sit with us. You can even come on screen if you would like to, join the stage with me, and we'll break down a lot of the really important key moments and key highlights of the game, and it will be actual video footage. So compared to maybe screenshots and things like that you've seen before, this will be real video highlights that we'll be able to break down and draw on screen for, do a tactical type discussion for. So I think you'll really enjoy it. So look out for that tomorrow, please, everybody. But I'll see you next time. Come on, you Spurs, and we keep moving. We stay hungry.